Welcome back, everyone. We are going to focus on Revelations chapter 3 today. It was released last Saturday, so I'm, catching up and going ahead and reviewing and predicting that. And then I'm excited for chapter 4, which comes out this Saturday. So a few days after that, I will post the review predictions, and then I'll be all caught up. But anyway, we're coming back to chapter 3. I honestly think this is going to be the video in which I talk the most, because I have plenty to say and predict, and some things might sound crazy. But yeah, so let's go ahead and focus on that first part of chapter 3. It's basically a dream, nightmare that Ciel has. I'm not going to read it because it's, quite a bit. But basically, to summarize it, Ciel is like in water, like in dark depths of water, and he's making his way back out to the top, and he sees his dad, and so he reaches out to him, and just when he thinks like, oh, I'm gonna get out of here, I'm gonna be reunited with my dad, bam, he gets brought back down to, quote unquote, the dark side, So basically, I interpreted this as being a potential foreshadow of his becoming a fallen angel, being converted from the light, good side to the bad, dark side. So that's what I got from that. I mean, it's pretty obvious. Again, we've talked about how it seems that he is an angel, and it's kind of like an angels, demons, good and evil thing to happening to the story. So I mean, that's obvious. I don't have to point that out all the time. But there was one person who reviewed Anime Kujo's story, and I thought it was really interesting. They made predictions of Ciel potentially being a merman. I mean, I'm not trying to make fun of that or anything. I think that's, it's creative. It's awesome. I mean, heck, I would read a fanfic of Ciel being a merman. Like, honestly, that's, like, so cool. So, if that person is listening to this right now, I hope you do a fanfic with Ciel as a merman, or, I don't know. It just sounds so cool, And I mean, sometimes it's those kinds of ideas, they could be kind of out of the blue or stand out, because I think this person is genius for saying that, because everyone else is like, oh, it's obvious he's an angel or whatnot, but this is different. You stand out above the crowd, man or woman. I don't know your gender, but you are awesome, whoever you are that made that prediction. But moving on, Ciel visits Spears to kind of talk about things he's going through right now. It's kind of like a monthly thing that he does. And, basically he told him about the back pain, and then Grell storms in and is like, oh, why are these funeral flowers so plain and so white? And it's kind of like, well, they're for a funeral. But anyway, I don't even know why I just said that right now, but we'll move on to Ciel's thoughts. And this is a quote from the story, in which Ciel thinks, and who allowed this fruitcake into the priesthood anyway? Don't they run background checks in seminary school for flamboyant psychopaths? And I have to agree with Ciel. It was really odd to see that Grell was a priest. I didn't really know quite how to take that. It's funny to me, because, yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think. I'm Catholic, and, priests are pretty, calm, collected. They're not very out there. So it's interesting to see a contrasting character in this story. But, I like to think maybe Grell is an angel, possibly. Because, honestly, I don't even know how a person like Grell would get into the priesthood. I mean, I guess you can't judge or discriminate. And I'm not trying to sound discriminatory or anything. I love Grell. I mean, he's awesome. But yeah, I would have to agree with Ciel's thoughts on how he made it in. So my thought is that Grell is an angel, potentially. And I think the same thing of William, too. And the reason why is because another quote in Anime Kujo's story kind of got me thinking, okay, there's got to be something more to these two. They can't just be regular, average human priests. There's got to be something more to it. And so this is the quote that I found that I want to read to you guys. It says, maybe you're reading too much into it, and it's just a growth spurt or something. Young adults are very eccentric creatures, So that was a quote from Grell to Will, in regards to Will, being like, oh, like his back pain and the potential, my guess, the potential growing of wings is happening all too quickly. And so Will is concerned about that, and, Grell's kind of like, oh, take it easy, it's no big deal. So, I think for them to kind of be in the know of these things, I think they would have to be angels. They can't just be regular human priests. Or at least they obviously would have a connection to an angel figure if they aren't angels themselves. But moving on, Will got word that the person who may have been behind the killings of the Elise character has gotten into contact with Ciel. And so, this is what he says. Grell, I want you to find Sister Rin and tell her that I said Ronald should forgo his priestly duties for the time being, William ordered firmly, making sure to leave no room for argument. I want him to follow Ciel and monitor where he goes and who he is with. He's young and can blend in easily in a crowd of university students. Do you understand? So, my thought, obviously, we know Ronald is going to eventually see, oh yeah, Ciel has been communicating with Sebastian and, this, like, dark person dressed in black, more than likely a demon. And so, my thought is, what's going to happen after that? Because they're going to eventually see that Ciel is spending too much time with Sebastian, and it's kind of like, oh, whoa, he's falling in love with the wrong person. So my thought is, what if there's a plan to kind of get Ciel to fall out of love with Sebastian and bring them back to the light side? So my thought for that is, maybe they'll have Ronald try and make Ciel fall in love with him. And that does sound weird considering the fact that Ronald is a priest. They could probably talk to somebody else to try and get Ciel to fall in love with them. Right now I'm even just thinking, maybe Lizzie, they find out, oh, they're really good friends, everyone seems to want them to be together, so maybe they could talk to Lizzie and try and convince her to, try and get Ciel to fall in love with her. That just came to my mind. I didn't even have that planned out. What I was originally thinking, and this is going to sound interesting, because Anime Cujo is really good friends with Black Rose Eden, who is the amazing author of Simply Meant to Be. I actually did a video predicting the ending of her story, so they're really good friends. And in Black Rose Eden's story, she kind of hinted at the Ciel-William pairing, which at first I had never ever thought about that pairing. Like, I never would have in a million years pictured them being together and whatnot. So that was really interesting. And then I actually started falling for this shipping. So when I started reading the story, I'm just like, ooh, what if there's like a William Ciel thing again? It's just this crazy thing that's stuck in my mind. Like, I'm really crazy about this pairing. There's not very much fan fiction on those two. So, I'm thinking, okay, what if in this story, William tries to make Ciel fall in love with him? That is a little odd. And then regarding the fact that William is a priest, so that would be a conflicting issue. But it is still possible. So that's been a thought that's been running through my mind, too. And it is a little odd, but I don't know, maybe I'm reading too much into this, and, still stuck on the whole Ciel-William phase. But, we'll have to see what happens. I honestly think there would be a plan, not necessarily one of the priests trying to make Ciel fall in love with them, but maybe talking to somebody. Specifically Lizzie, because she's basically his best friend, they do fencing together, so probably something there would happen. So yeah, that's all I had to say about Chapter 3. Great chapter, and I definitely look forward to more. Definitely look forward to Chapter 4 in the next couple of days. So, come back and, we'll review and predict Chapter 4 together. And I do invite you guys to, comment on this video or send me a message and let me know, if there's any other fanfic that you would want me to review and predict. I am totally up for it. It doesn't have to be Black Butler. It doesn't have to be anime related. It could be whatever. I don't mind. I mean, this is kind of a cool way to get you guys to show me what you're interested in. And that way I can kind of get into something new, Because right now I'm like super obsessed with Black Butler, but I am definitely open to the possibilities of getting introduced to something new and taking a read. So thanks for watching. Well, not watching. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.